And it's like you desperately crave connection, but you fear closeness. When you have this attachment style, it is like nails on the chalkboard because everything you want is closeness, but it's almost like you are the wall that prevents the closeness from happening. Shh. Welcome to the Secret Life Podcast. Tell me your secret. I'll tell you mine. Sometimes you have to go through the darkness to reach the light. That's what I did. After 12 years of recovery in sex and love addiction, I finally found my soulmate, myself. Please join me in my novel, Secret Life of a Hollywood Sex and Love Addict, a 4-time bestseller on Amazon. It's a brutal, honest, raw, gnarly ride, but hilarious at the same time. Check it out now on Amazon. Welcome to Secret Life Podcast. I'm Brianne Davis-Gantt. Today I'm pulling back the curtains of all kinds of human secrets. We'll hear about what people are hiding from themselves or others. You know those deep, dark secrets you probably want to take to your grave? Or those lighter, funnier secrets that are just plain embarrassing? Join me each week as we take a deep dive into one subject matter, exploring the how, what, when, where, and why of it all. This is a more focused, more revealing journey of the human experience. Join me on Secret Life Podcast and enjoy the ride. Today, we are talking about dun dun dun, fearful avoidance. Ooh, that's a hard one. It's that attachment style that tells you you want to be in a relationship so desperately, but then you have massive anxiety and you fear intimacy, and then you have difficult self-soothing that anxiety, and then you have difficulty regulating your emotions. And it's like you desperately crave connection, but you fear closeness. When you have this attachment style, it is like nails on the chalkboard because everything you want is closeness, but it's almost like you are the wall that prevents the closeness from happening. Other attachment styles, secure, anxious, you see all these things, but fearful avoidance, they legit really, really want to be in relationships, but they have difficulty maintaining them. And when I work with people with avoidance in general, which I think a lot of people this day and age, especially with technology, porn, all of that are making people deep down avoidance because they're getting their sexual needs fixed too quickly. Things aren't earned. Intimacy, false intimacy happens so fast over the internet, and you feel like you know someone, but you're actually not connecting with them on a human level, and it's not earned. So it's the oversharing, the love bombing, the trauma bonding is happening really fast. For fearful avoidance, it's even more terrifying in this environment because they have so much anxiety and they're hyper vigilant and they protect themselves from rejection, but they desperately want a relationship and they keep striving for one, but then they can't maintain it. They crave that connection, but they do not know how to have it. And it's like confusing for them, and they flip-flop. They, like, want a commitment, then they don't, and then they trust, and then they don't, and then they give into relationships sometimes, and then they are upset that they gave into the relationship, and so then they flee and shut down, and they create this conflict just to have themselves shut down. So this happens a lot. I would say a lot of the younger generation are in this category. And anyone that's online dating is usually feeling this. It's either in this section or the anxious attachment section. They flip flop from these even sometimes. They go from anxious attachment really, really high and then they go straight into fearful avoidance. So I do believe this attachment style, you can flip flop from one to the other. So they do, here's some signs. They have in the past had highly emotional relationships. So they've had relationships that were very dramatic. So they do love to trauma bond, these fearful avoidance. They try and they want casual sex. They actually are better at casual sex than real partners. They have more casual sex than real partnership. They break off relationships sometimes for no apparent reason because they feel like that attachment, but they don't feel that connection even though they want it, so they break it off for no reason. So a lot of times these people are the ghosters. They are the ghosters. Um, when it's time to talk about commitment and love, they're usually not there yet. I'm not there yet, and they wanna just keep making it casual. They're the ones that keep things more casual, and they love a lot of relationships at a lot of the same time. They're the ones that have multiple partners at the same time. So they get little bits and pieces from people. So they can have those casual flings, but it's still painful for them because when they finally realize that the signs that they have underneath are low self esteem, they get very anxious, they fear rejection and closeness. They have trouble having real personal relationships. These are people that don't usually have a lot of friends or carry long term relationships. They have view of negative emotions. They have difficulty asking for help. And they do not like becoming someone's caretaker. They do not want to fix it. They are not in the fix it category. Do not fix it at all. They are independent, but they're not as an independent as the dismissive avoidance. So, if you are dealing with these people, it's a crapshoot because one moment you feel connected to them, really connected, and they want to be close. And then all of a sudden they don't, but they stick around. That's the thing. They're there, but they just don't give you exactly what you need. So a lot of people stay in relationships with fearful avoidance or fearful avoidance themselves. And they have like, they're the ones that have like 6 month relationships. And then they go to another 6 month relationship. And then they do 4 months and then 2 months and then 6 months. And they date multiple people a lot. And they feel like they just are those people that love being in love. But underneath it, they never stick around for the real type of intimacy that is earned over time. And those are the fearful avoidance. And how to break up feelings for fearful avoidance. If you're with a fearful avoidant and then you break up, these are the feelings that come up and how the breakup feels to you. You then wonder, did I make a massive mistake? You secretly hope they text you. You have no idea what you really want. You wish how you said how you felt during the relationship. You miss them. You held back your feelings. You plan to text them, but don't press to send the text because you feel that you'll be rejected. Um, you don't talk about it with anyone. And you eventually contact them, but freeze up when it's time to say how you really feel. That means you're a fearful avoidant. All those are the thoughts that run through your mind. All those things run through your mind. You made a mistake. You just shared how you felt. You want them to contact you, but you don't really know how to express how you feel. You try to contact them, but then you freeze up. Fearful avoidant. It's like the one that got away, that feeling happens for you. And how do you get out of this attachment style? Because this attachment style you can actually get out of, you can work through because deep down, you actually do want a relationship and closeness. You just didn't get it as a child and you are fearful because you got love, but then you got rejected at the same time. So, what are the tools to help you if you're a fearful avoidant? Get better. You ex eg The first thing you have to know is inner child work. There's a pain from childhood that keeps you from fully connecting to another. That's it. So you got to go back to that childhood pain, to be willing to slowly acknowledge it, to then work on it, because deep down you actually want the connection and you really try for it, but you get to a point where that's the most you can do. Bring compassion to yourself, parts of yourself that you can sometimes feel that you used or you exploited by people or exploited in yourself. Have compassion for those parts. Work with someone, a therapist, a coach, helps maintain your anxiety, helps you build a safe template for yourself, how to help yourself feel safe within yourself and in a connection and relationship with others, because that's where it starts. Practice setting firm boundaries with yourself and go over where you have resentments towards others, because it's a built up of resentments that you are untrustworthy to others. So look at your resentment list. Why do you resent humans? Why do you resent people? Why do you resent past relationships? And do that resentment work to see what you're holding on to, because that's keeping you from fully committing and moving into a healthy relationship. And learn to pay attention to people who authentically want to give and support you. Don't keep going to these casual relationships. Like, really look at who's showing up for you and who is supporting you. Because there's a part of you that discounts those people because it's worth too much and it's too much intimacy for you, because you do have some of those people in your life that you don't acknowledge. And then also, there is a great way that you look at when you act out or you withdraw when you feel rejected or afraid. Acknowledge that. Say, "Ooh, I'm acting out. I'm going into all these casual affairs because I'm feeling rejected or afraid. Is this actually serving me? Is this actually a real connection? Yes, I want to be the cool person. I want to be the one that can have all this casual stuff. But is this what I really want?" No, acknowledge what you're doing. Acknowledge these behaviors and know that they don't have to run your life anymore. Because fearful avoidance is from childhood and you can actually work through it. I have had fearful avoidance. I know exactly what it's about and where it stems from. And you can get through it because it only gets worse over time. And it's one of the ones that you can actually work through, because there's a deep view that you don't deserve it. You don't know how to have it. You want to get vulnerable, but you don't know how to do it. You don't know how to soothe your emotions. You feel people are going to let you down and hurt you. You want to have relationships, but then in the end, you don't know how to sustain them. So you just turn to these casualness because it's easier, and it's not, because sooner or later you will feel depleted. And this came from childhood. And again, look back at your childhood. You didn't feel safe. There's poor boundaries. There was probably enmeshment with a parent, or a parent that gave you love, then took it away. So that back and forth probably confused you. You had a hard time making friends at a young age. There was no difference between affection from strangers and your loved ones. It felt the same. And you were distressed when you were separated from your parents or your caregiver, and they showed anger when that happened, or disinterest. And they got mad at you when you were upset when they were leaving, so that you felt rejected. So there was a lot of conflict internally that happened for you when you had emotions around connecting to your parents or your caregivers that didn't make sense to you. So closeness to your caregivers and parents was confusing for you. So there's a fearfulness. So you avoid it. So that's what I want you to look at. Pay attention to those things in your childhood. Look at the inner child, do that work, and you can move through this fearful avoidant attachment style into secure avoidance. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Secret Life Podcast. Let me know your thoughts. Send them to secretlifepodcast@icloud.com. Until next time. Thanks again for listening to the show. Please subscribe, rate, share, or send me a note at secretlifepodcast.com. And if you like to check out my book, head over to secretlifenovel.com or Amazon to pick up a copy for yourself or someone you love. Thanks again. See you soon.